Hello. So Zoom is acting a little bit slow today for me, but I hope I can get through this very quickly and just kind of welcome you to week 2. Right now, as this is being sent, you're still probably wrapping up week 1, and that's perfectly fine. But some of you may be already ahead and looking to what can I do next while I have this long weekend ahead of me. So I'm going to share my screen with you here. And let's see if we can share that. Now I have 2 windows open, and there's a reason for that, which I'll show you soon. So go ahead and click on our course. On the course, you will notice that there are recent announcements there. One of the first ones that you will have will be on our, well, this one will be there. And also a heads up in terms of our Monday night Zoom meeting. Then also this yellow tab here will have information on how to join. What we're asking you to do is to ignore the to-do list here on the side, because it's tempting to just jump into the to-do, and to click on the Start Here button. Now, by the time you get this video, the Start Here button will take you directly to week 2. So it'll look something like this. Now, if you're taken to week 2 and you're like, oh no, there's something in week 1 that I still want to take a look at, just scroll back up. Open up the accordion here in case it's closed, it's collapsed. You can open that. You can go all the way back to the Start Here. You can go to the course Q&A if you want. But if you're not taking a look at that just yet, collapse those, and we're going to focus on week 2. You'll notice that it's all set up the same. We have our overview pages, and the recommendation is to scooch to the bottom, hit the next. This way you won't miss any content. Information on how to join Zoom. Again, scroll down to the bottom and hit next after you read. Now, say you don't have time to really read all of these wonderful PowerPoints and discussions and videos. That's okay, but at least you know where they are now. You know where we talk about equity, which is so important. And you hit next. Now, for most of us, we are equitable when we teach our students, but what we're asking to do is for you to think about equity, and that's for all of our students. Ability, disability, whatever walk of life we encounter, we want to make sure that we're planning to be able to welcome them with open arms. Sometimes we just can't foresee things, but we're thinking right now about planning ahead and trying to think about that. I have never had an 11-year-old take a college course of mine. What if I did? How would I be able to accommodate that? You know, and still keep it as a college course. So take a look at the fabulous online equity rubric from our fellow colleagues over at the Peralta District. I think that it will help start to think about that, about equity. Scroll down, hit the next, social presence and humanizing. Again, take a look at the video, scroll down, hit next. Universal design. Again, we're trying to design at the beginning for everyone. Right? Scroll down, hit next, take a look at these fabulous videos. Have dinner, watch the video. So your first assessment is going to be the discussion. And this discussion mirrors our own discussion. We had a meet and greet. We're asking you to brainstorm your own meet and greet. Now, in this case, you are not sending us a link to that discussion. You're simply going in, you're going to post your initial reply right here by clicking on the reply button. And then we're asking you to reply to your peers, all right? If you can do these in a setting, it does help. If you just do it and then post to the reply, especially if you're not the very first person to post. And then that way, at least the requirement is complete. So then when you come back and you read the other discussion posts, these are more for fun and collaboration. These are just so you can build a warm and supportive learning community here with us. And do come back and see what is being written, you know, before the discussion closes. So that really helps. I've gone down this really quickly. Please do take a look at these links. Hit next, right? Then we talk a little bit more about building community. Part of that of humanizing our course is to have a welcome video. It's supposed to be short, and which is really tough because we have so much to share and we love our students so very much. But here are some examples. And if you want to see an example of my sort of overview videos, or I'm happy to share those as well, just reach out through the Canvas inbox. And then here you are given a couple of tools that you can use. You will find the tools that you like best. Right now, what I'm using is Zoom. I'm using Zoom to record. And I think, although I asked it to share my screen, as I'm looking through, I think it may not be sharing my screen. So Zoom again has been acting very, very strange. So I'm going to stop share right now, and I'm going to reactivate my share. And I might have to just record this over again. That happens sometimes. And so then as we come down through this, take a look at these very great, fabulous examples on how to use TechSmith Relay. I think that you will like it because it's sort of a one-stop shop where you can go ahead and record and then you can caption, right? And it's right there in Canvas. For me, I'm using Zoom, or I hope to use Zoom, and then I will use YouTube to caption my video. And then you hit the next button. So we have here tips on captioning. These are very important. I was asked earlier in a drop-in session why we need to do this. Well, it's the law, right? So it's the law to create accessible course content, and that's why we have to do this. Here, what you're going to do is you're going to share your video. And this isn't due till June 14th. I would highly recommend not waiting until then. Try to tackle the video as soon as you can, because sometimes we don't do it in one sitting. This one that I'm recording for you right now, I might have to redo because I'm concerned that Zoom has been acting so weird today that it might not be sharing my screen for you. So you go ahead and you click through this, read everything. You're going to have peer replies as well, and go ahead and begin to create your video and build community. So here you have an assignment that I'm going to try to break down for you a little bit more. It's the design. So this is when you go into your introductory module and you set up that course navigation menu. Lights are turning off on me. It's just insane. So what I'd like to do is I like to keep my assignment on one screen open, and the rubric, which is fabulous. It's a fabulous rubric, will tell you exactly what needs to be done. And begin by creating placeholders. So what I do is I keep one on one side, and then I go and I open another course in the other one. I'm going to use this one. This is my remote instruction template. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to start here because I already set it up to go to modules. So you will be in your module page. You can see I have a lot of these sort of don't publish for folks kind of things. And I have my own getting started. Right? But what I'm going to walk you through very briefly, if I can, is how to do it from scratch, because you may not all have a template, right? So what we do, the first thing we do is create a module. So we click on the blue button, I think it's blue for all of us, and we're going to title our module. The first module we're going to put in is going to be called syllabus, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create that within, actually, this is supposed to be our welcome module. And I'm going to put here practice, just so I remember to delete it from this later on. So this is my welcome module. Now, anything that we create within Canvas, whether it's the module list or later on, goes to the bottom of whatever we're creating. In this case, that's fine. We'll leave it at the bottom. If you don't want it at the bottom for your real course, you just grab the anchor and you bring it up to the top. And now it's at the top. Another way to move things is to click on the More Options button, the three vertical dots there, and then you can move the module. And so you can decide to move it after something. So you can move it after getting started if you want. If that wasn't quite the right place, you can click on the three dots, the More Options, move the module, and then go back to the top. So that's how you manipulate that. Now, our module right here is a shell. I want to say it's a placeholder. It doesn't have anything in it. In order to create the items that you see listed on the right-hand side, syllabus, welcome letter, meet the professor, all of those elements, what you need to do is click on this plus button here, and that will let you add an item. The very first item that we have is the syllabus. that syllabus is going to be part of a page. So if you click on that add, these are the different items you can add to a module. You can add an assignment, a quiz, a file. We don't recommend you use files. Those bare links are not useful. A page, a discussion, a text header. Those are fabulous. We also recommend not using the external URL nor the external tool for your modules list. So we're going to create a page. We're going to click on new page and we're going to title that. So for now, we will title it exactly what the example asks us. Now, if you want, you can go ahead and say syllabus 4 and political science 125 if you want, or you can just call it syllabus. So I'm going to back out of this and just leave it as syllabus. Then we're going to click on the blue button on the bottom right, and that's the add item. So we add an item. Now our placeholder module has one item, the syllabus item, but that's not the only one we need. We need our welcome letter. So we're going to click on that. The welcome letter is also a page. So we're going to click on new page, and then we're going to go ahead and title this welcome letter. For now, it really helps your reviewers if you can go ahead and title it what we have on our list here. Later on, you can be a little bit more fancy and call it something else if you'd like. Go back to the add button, and you're going to add another page. This is going to be the Meet the Professor page. And so we click on that and we add the item. Next, we go back up. The next thing we need to do is have a navigating this course. So we're going to click on that. We're going to title that navigating this course. And that's going to be a page that will help students do that. We click on that. The next thing that we have here is a course communication plan. So we're going to add that, a new page, and we're going to call it course communication plan. Click on that. So now you can see that our items are starting to be built here. We're going to add the next thing that we have is going to be the course policies. So we'll just go ahead and title this course policies, and then you can word it out, right? Participation, grading, and academic integrity online. All right, so we've created that. Follow the instructions for that. Next one up is going to be technical assistance. That's another page. So we're just going to go over here and we're going to type technical assistance or technology resources. Now, if you want, what you can do is instead of or sources, if you think that they're different, you can say and if you want. And have that page have two sections, one that's assistance and one that's resources. All right, now what's up next? Student resources. So we're going to click on the plus. This is also a page. And then we're going to go ahead and type in student resources. Now for me, I haven't had to click on the menu too much because I already started creating pages. So it would just let me do page, page, page. But I'm going to show you what happens. The default is set to assignment. Be very careful not to create pages that are using the assignment tool, because then students will be very confused. They will see syllabus under an assignment tool and wonder what they're supposed to submit or upload, because they will get a nice little submit button on the top. So here you're going to scroll down and click on page, because that's what you're going to go ahead and include. Now, in this case, we've already moved past all of our pages and we're at the meet and greet discussion. So instead of page, we're going to click on the discussion. And this is going to be a new discussion. And this discussion, we're going to type meet and greet discussion. Now that's for us, your reviewers. It'd be easy for us to just go through and see that you have all of the elements. Later on in your real class, you can call that something else. You can say, call it el cafecito if you want, or whatever it is. If you're teaching a language course, you can name it something in that language. So that's what you would put here. So that's going to be a meet and greet assignment. Next up, you're going to have the orientation quiz. So the item that you're going to select is not going to be assignment or page or discussion as we've done so far. It will be the quiz. So new quiz, and this quiz is going to be the orientation quiz. So and I see that I might already have an orientation quiz, and I don't want it to replace it or anything. So I'm just going to put here practice so that I don't delete another orientation page I might have. So item. And if you already have an orientation quiz in yours, it's perfectly, actually pretty great if you can just place it there. But do read the instructions and make sure that you're including those elements. All right, so once you have all of this, your second step is to copy and paste your link and place it in your practice course. So here, I don't have a submit button. You will have a submit button, but what you'll do is you're going to move your cursor to the URL at the top, and that's where it has the web address, and you're going to go ahead and copy that URL. And then once you come into the assignment, you will have a little box that says submit somewhere on the top here. If you have a very narrow screen, like if you're using a laptop, that submit button might not be on the top. It might be down here at the bottom. So just scroll all the way to the bottom and then hit that submit button. Choose the tab for URL or link. Paste the link that you just copied from your practice course in there and then submit again. And then that way, on our side, the reviewers will be able to take a look at all of the content. Now, as you see here, these are all placeholders, right? There isn't anything in here. So I'm going to publish this just so they all publish. But if I open the syllabus, there isn't the syllabus there. For this assignment, all we're asking you to do is to go ahead and begin to place these things out, right? And then you can see here, it says, navigating this course will create and added modules, page describes. So then here, they're asking you to now go ahead and include the information within these placeholders. So please read the instructions very carefully. There are even points for URL link is submitted correctly, right? So let me stop share. I'm going to go ahead and review this and see if you were even able to see my screen. I might have to go through this whole entire thing again. But we look forward to meeting with you on Monday. Please continue to use the inbox to communicate with us and to reach out. We're ever so happy to be able to help. And it helps us to be able to troubleshoot things if we get those questions before the deadlines or the due dates. And sort of first come, first serve, right? As soon as you get your question in, we try to tackle it. But if we have a long list of then questions, then we get a little bogged down. And it takes a little longer to get back to you. All right, well, thank you very much and enjoy your weekend. Have a beautiful day. Wrap up everything from last week. Move on to the next week. All right, bye.